What is your job occupation? Do you get lonely? I'm redesigning the style of some of my die cut stickers, so they're not just the shape of the sticker itself, but they also include this backing to make it a little more fun and cute.
약간 형 마술 약속을 배웠었잖아요. 여기랑 비슷하지 않았어요? 아, 이게 바로 되게 비슷해요. 근데 이 신발이 되게 좋은데? 이 신발이 마찰이 저 중학교
I've finally begun the printing and cutting process for my sticker sheets for this update. Every step of the way, I'm learning something new or learning something that I should have done in the first place. I'm realizing now how I should have printed proofs of the sticker sheets before I start printing on the sticker paper. Some of the color settings do need to be adjusted for the brightness and the saturation. Instead of wasting these prints that I'm not satisfied with, I think I'm going to do what some people call an oops bag. They sell bundles of imperfect products for a discounted price. Instead of just throwing away these ones that I'm not satisfied with, I think I'm going to do that. The shop is coming together.
I heard there was a person here to buy cameras today.
Your name?
Annika?
So my name is Annika and this is Annika's Leave. I am 21 years old and I graduated college last spring with a Bachelor in Fine Arts and I studied film production. I am currently living on my own in LA in my own apartment for the very first time. I always get a lot of questions about my ethnicity. I'm half white, half Asian. My mom's side of the family is Chinese and Japanese. My dad's side of the family is a mix of European. I am 5'8", a Pisces, and 9 TJ. So the first question, how is it like living alone? Do you prefer it to living with the roommate? Honestly, I feel like not much has changed in terms of my lifestyle. I graduated in the spring, but my roommate was still going to college. We had two very different schedules and we both had our own rooms in the old place, so we didn't really get in each other's way. She's one of my closest friends and she knows that I am a very introverted person and I like being by myself, so I did have that luxury while I lived with her. I've always been a very independent person since I was a child. I think it's partly because of my personality. I like doing things my own way. Having to follow someone else's sort of schedule or rules, I feel like I'm being stifled a bit. Having this space and this freedom to decorate how I want, express my style, go about my own schedule is really fulfilling. So yes, I do prefer living alone. Do you get lonely? Honestly, not at all. I do tend to be a bit of a homebody. I do get wrapped up in my work and my own stuff, so sometimes I do need a reminder from friends to get out of my place and have a little bit of social interaction, but I don't find myself feeling lonely. How do you like living in LA? So for those of you who don't know, I grew up in Maryland and then I went to college out here in LA. And then when the pandemic started, I moved back with my family. And only in 2021, I moved back out to LA to get a place with my roommate so I could finish my last semester, although it was completely online. So I've been living in LA for maybe 4 years. And I very much like it. I'm a West Coast person at heart. I was actually born in Seattle and I grew up there before I moved to Maryland. I love the weather here, sunshine, warmth makes me very happy. And LA is a very big area, so I don't actually live in the West Hollywood side. If you're familiar with that, that's kind of where typical influencers live. That side is very white, so I live in a lot more diverse area. I feel really comfortable here. What is your job occupation? Right now, I would say that I'm doing YouTube and content creation full-time, in addition to my shop, which is pretty new still, and I'm still trying to get into the flow. I'm working really hard on preparing all the product for the next relaunch. I actually graduated college in 3 years. I said to myself that the year I saved is going to be my gap year, or my year to sort of figure out what I really wanted to do or what kind of career I wanted to pursue. I honestly thought I would have a 9-to-5, although I don't think I would have been the happiest. I thought that I would be doing that until I figured out some sort of maybe creative career path that I could follow. Why did you start your YouTube channel? So I started it just as a creative, fun outlet. And I started doing vlogs to just document my days while doing online school at the beginning of the pandemic. And I discovered these YouTube channels that did silent vlogs and I found those really relaxing. So I thought, why not just make my own little YouTube diaries? Didn't expect anyone to watch it. When I first started my channel, I actually turned off the subscribers so no one could see how many subscribers I had. Prior to YouTube, I didn't have a social media presence. I've never been someone that had an Instagram or would post anything related to myself on the internet. So I wanted it to kind of be just a little private space for myself, and then people started finding my videos. And I always have a lot of you guys asking how to start your own YouTube channel or any advice I'd have. I would just say to do what I did, which is making content that you would want to watch. That way you can be authentic to yourself and you can have fun doing so. How did you discover your aesthetic and personal decoration style? I also get the question a lot, what would you call your aesthetic? I don't think there's one umbrella term to describe it. It's something that just developed over time, as I think does with all styles and personal tastes. When I was much younger, I used to actually hate the color pink. I was kind of one of those little kids that was like,
ew, pink, girly.
And I don't know, something shifted. But I've always been very inspired by Asian style, Asian decor. specifically Japanese and Korean style. I really like the minimalist aesthetic, and I really like their simplistic wood-based clean look. It's very warm and cozy, and those are things that really resonate with me. So drawing a lot of inspiration from those styles and adding pinks and cuteness, that is sort of how I came to this aesthetic. Will you ever get a pet now that you live alone? I've always wanted to have a dog, and I always said once I live alone and have my own space, I would get one. But now that I am in that situation, I realize I have to do a lot of research while I'm still trying to decide, or still figuring out my career and where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing. I don't think it'd be fair to get a dog and bring them into my life with that uncertainty. Eventually, I just don't know when. Are you in a relationship? Tips for driving and driving anxiety. Less than a year ago, I used to be terrified of driving, especially by myself. I talked about this a lot in my older vlogs. LA is a driving city. It's very sprawling. If you can't drive, then it's quite difficult to get around. I always made sure to go somewhere when my roommate was available so she could ride with me. But now I can say I actually love driving, especially by myself. And the only way that this got better was literally forcing myself to do so. I had to take a lot of little steps over a long period of time. I remember my first drive by myself was a 10-minute drive, and my heart was racing, my hands were sweaty, and I was literally shaking as I was holding the wheel. But my roommate was like, girl, you can't keep bringing me everywhere. You need to just bite the bullet and keep going. It is just something that I had to constantly work at. Are you happy with the way your life is right now? I can confidently say that I feel very content with where I'm currently at. There's still a lot I want to do, obviously, but I feel very, very lucky and privileged to be living in the current state that I am. I think a lot of it was just luck, not to discredit my own work, but it is a very privileged position. I feel very lucky to be given this opportunity. And I want to thank you, of course, for allowing me to do so. I hope that my videos are a way for me to give back, continue cultivating a cozy, warm, loving atmosphere. Any plans for the future? I'm really excited to be working on my shop more intensely this year. I have so many products that I've been working on designing, and so many future products that I hope to be able to develop, hoping everything works out and I'll be able to share with you. I am the type of person who tries to keep things a secret and a surprise, but then gets too excited and shares it way too early. And then a lot of times things don't go according to plan and I feel disappointed, so I'm trying hard not to spill the beans too early. You strike me as calm all the time. What sort of things upset you and how do you deal with it? I think I'm a person who doesn't really get upset by other people or things that other people do. I only ever get upset at myself. It's usually me making a stupid mistake and I'm like, why are you such an idiot? But then I'm like, hey, this is something that I can learn from. I'm never making this mistake again. So we're growing, we're moving forward. That's all it takes, really. I might be upset at myself for a hot minute, but then I get over it pretty fast because there's no use of being upset over it. There's always more things to do, so keep moving forward. You just gotta. I'm gonna force myself to stop eating this because I'm gonna be sick. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care, friend.